There we go.
Take two. Take two.
So if you watched the first one and then you saw, I don't know what happened. I don't know what Alie saw. All I know is that she
I
went, and my computer was making a demon noise. Uh, it decided to crash in the middle of filming.
and I just like started being like, what happened? What's going on? I can't see you. Where did you go? And then I like left it running for a long time and just kind of went away, but I didn't hang up. So I don't know if it recorded me talking to Gary, if it recorded me just sort of like drinking my martini in disgust at the world.
Right. Oh, this will be fun. So I'm gonna check the video before I post it, but you'll
Okay.
get a sudden oh crap at the end. So to recap, trying to remember, we're talking about taking tarot breaks and talking about how Alie was taking a break from reading for others. And I know I had talked about, we were talking about like difference like reading in person versus reading via video
Yeah.
and writing and
We
holding.
did a little bit of a segue.
Yeah, we're really good at that.
Okay, so I'm just going to note that if anybody notices Gary and I looking off that way, it's because our neighbor upstairs is pacing and yelling into his phone because it sounds like his girlfriend is breaking up with him. It's very dramatic. Oh, and we lost Gary. We lost Gary to the bed. Gary can't handle this shit anymore. He's laying down in bed. So if I'm looking off into the distance, it's because my neighbor's being a crazy person. Anyway. I should be more compassionate, but they break up like twice a week and sometimes at 4 a.m. So
yeah. Oh gosh. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, tarot breaks.
All right. So you had said that taking a break for you a lot was for other people was more about like once you made it your business, it just became like really boring, right?
And not just boring, but like completely impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time I tried to read for someone in a way that wasn't, the way you read for people by, really tapping into whatever it is you tap into, depending on what your paradigm is, and just going with it. I was mostly just sitting down with a pack, like with pieces of paper and trying to talk to a piece of glass. And that's all it was. Like I had no connection to anything. And it's just like, I need to take a step back. And so I've turned off tarot readings in my Etsy shop, but it's still open because I'm still willing to do mentorships because even though I'm in a weird place with tarot, that doesn't mean that I can't help other people who are in weird places with tarot. Perhaps I can help better now that I've been in more weird places with tarot than you can possibly imagine.
Right?
So, but yeah, I have to not be reading for others. It's just, the camera, I moved the camera. I was like, why am I not looking at the camera? It's right here. No, I flipped the phone around. It's right here. I'm so sorry. Jesus Christ. And this is part of the issue. This is part of it. I am like, I need to clarify, like the astrology of the past couple of days has just like broken my brain. Like I am a Virgo. I am a dyed in the wool Virgo. I have my Mercury is in Virgo. Like the rest of my stuff is in like Scorpio and Sagittarius, which is cool. Okay, cool. But the eclipse, like I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the eclipse was in Virgo.
The
Leo? Okay, but it was moving into Virgo, right?
Yeah. So right now it's officially there.
Yeah, and the new moon was moving into Virgo. And Mercury retrograde is in Virgo. Who are you pointing at? Because I just saw under the table and where my little square is.
The cat was about ready to jump onto the table.
Gotcha. That's your reading table.
Maybe, hopefully, Cole's.
Well, right now. It's got a reading on it.
Yes. And let's be real. The table is set up the way it is to vaguely look pretty in the background when I have the webcam going.
And you know what? That's fine. That's why I set up these shelves the way they're set up.
Yeah. I will get my shelves cleaned up and it will look slightly less horrible. But yeah.
This is wholly impractical. Like, I actually have literal piles of books in my living room because I wanted to make this my pretty, like, metaphysical bookshelf. So, like, there are textbooks that no longer have a home that are in my living room.
Yep.
I'm going to have to do that organized soon.
I wonder if, like, the Mercury stuff is, like, kind of, like, hit my brain a little bit, too. Them Virgo rising. As far as I know, that's my only one, but I was just like, today was just stuff.
My friend, it has been interesting. My laptop is gone. Your laptop went fritzy. I was like, for a few minutes, I was just like, I killed it.
Well, I mean, I haven't turned it off in, like, ever, basically. So I do.
This is a bit on you.
Yeah, we'll leave it on me. But yeah. So what I was thinking about is a little bit. I've been spending the last couple of weeks actually, like, trying to figure out a little bit of, like, my version of, like, what I'm doing or not doing tarot wise, which has been interesting because I went to this, like, retreat thingy in North Carolina, like, a week and a half ago. Got to meet, like, a whole bunch of friends from the internet, basically, and including, like, a lot of people that I talk tarot with, and we do a lot of stuff for each other and everything like that. And so we all, like, it's one of the things where you know each other really well, like, on the internet. Like, people you talk to probably almost every day because you're always in the group, but then you're, like, meeting in person.
Well, it's nerve-wracking.
Right? I mean, but it was interesting, like, knowing each other. And so I remember that very last day, literally, I'm sitting with one of the folks that we
Cat on the table. Cat on the table.
Yeah,
cat on the table.
Hey, come on.
I'm so sorry.
Hi, Cat. Okay. So yeah, sitting, like, right, trying to, you know, hang out, chat with one of the tarot folks that I chat with, and we're sitting waiting for other people to, like, get ready to go. So because we were, you know, all gonna head out to the airport, like, it was like the last half hour or so, and so when going to this retreat, I'm like. So we had, like, workshops and stuff like that and whatever, and I either ran or helped with 3. I ran 2 completely, and I helped with a 3rd one. And by helped, I mean I showed up with all my tarot decks. And so, you know, so like, I'm well known in this group as being, like, one of the main tarot people, like, rah rah, you know, like, this is my thing.
Go tarot.
Like, you know, Potter and all their stuff. Like, yeah. So that's fun. And, like, even despite that, like, I probably of people who were giving readings, I'm watching her, of people who were giving readings, I probably did the least of, like, anybody there, right? I did 2 for other people, all right, total, that whole time. Where I know, like, my one friend, she would, like, give it on left and right, you know, or another person was giving a lot too. And Cat, I see you.
You need a spray bottle.
I have a spray bottle. It moved. I don't know where it moved to. Oh, it's in the kitchen.
Just throw the water bottle at her.
Whatever. Over, I'll fix it. Okay. But yeah. So in that last half hour, so I was giving reading to my one friend, and it was with an oracle deck actually. So that was kind of neat. But we were talking. I was like, well, here's the thing. Like, one of the things about tarot for me lately is, like, I've been so caught up in this idea of me as the King of Cups, because that's, like, my card. The social worker card, you know, like, that's one whenever I just talk about significator cards, like, that's the one that's always, like, me, basically. And I kind of go through the court depending, right? Sometimes I'll notice that it's really the Knight of Cups that's being me or anything like that. But so we were chatting about it, and I was like, you know, because I earlier when I was helping with the tarot workshop, we were talking about the court cards, and I was like, well, here's the system that I use, right? So we're talking about like the elements, so air of air, air of water, water, you know, everything like that, right? So the 2 elements that make up a court card. And I was saying, so what I've been doing, I've been really using that, really, like, instead of gendering my cards, I've been using it as a way to like dig into what the personality really like, right? So it's like, well, think about it, like, you know, if you're the queen of something, you're like really into it, right? You're in the water, you're like feeling it, right? And I was like, king, the difference with the king is he's above it because he's in the air, right? Or they're in the air, depending, you know, whatever. And applying that to me, I was like, wow, I've been really distant with a lot of my tarot stuff, even in the reading I give other people. So it's like, you know, kind of keeping myself emotionally distant as a King of Cups personality, rather than being in it with people. And when it comes to myself, I noticed this summer's been a lot. A lot has been going on this summer, and I like the first part of it, like most of June and a bit of July, like I was doing a decent amount of readings for myself. I think I took a couple weeks break, but then I got in, I was like, you know, fairly reading pretty hard for myself. It was all like really hard emotional stuff, and so like I noticed eventually I just stopped.
Yeah.
Just like I have to distance myself because I was like, it wasn't a tarot being an asshole. It was more like tarot's almost being too nice and understanding and empathetic, and I can't do that right now. Like, you know, that's so nice and empathetic, but like I can't deal with the feelings right now. Right? Like I look at the cards and I'm just like, don't put this in front of my face. I have a lot of stuff that's coming up around it from stuff earlier in the summer, and so it's still like riding with me. And that's what it's been for me, is like I just can't deal. I need the space. I need to be the King of Cups so much that I'm up here rather than being down in it.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to my friend at the retreat about that, and she was like, well, for one, it seems like, you know, it's a very intentional distance. You may not think it is, but it's a really intentional distance. And you may need it. And I was just like, that's interesting. So last night, so I spent a while last night I kept like, you know, okay, I'll use the eclipse. That'll be my jump off point. Like, I'll get back into it a little bit because my counselor wanted me to do some stuff. And I was like, and I can use a tarot kind of as a way to like build into the intentionality piece of it. And I sat there for a good like 45 minutes to an hour going like, literally like I feel like I should do it, but also am I emotionally ready to handle this? I don't know.
Right. Oh.
And I'm talking a 4-card reading. 4. With my bottom of the deck that I always read. And I was just like, I finally did it. I actually did it. Took some pictures, put it down, and I was just like, cool. Ironically, it gave me the King of Swords at one point, so that was interesting.
Oh, the airiness of airness is the airingest.
Ironically, it was the thing I need to change in order to better bring around growth. So I don't know if it's telling me to be more King of Swordsy or well, I use a slow holler, so it's a visionary sword, so it's a different take on the king. But yeah, so it's just like, but the cards were basically cards that I pretty much expected. Hitting on those notes that I've been trying to like either work through or avoid, or get this mismatch of things through the last couple months, and it's just like, this is why I haven't been reading.
Yeah.
So
see, and what's interesting is that for reading for myself, I've been using almost a fortune teller mode, which is very, very different way of doing it for me. So like I've had to step back from the counselor position. And oh, there's something fun to unpack. It's like, am I doing that because I don't feel like, oh, that's dirty stuff to unpack. I have some laundry to deal with.
But note, I just realized I didn't set this video to private, so we are currently being viewed.
Oh, amazing. Okay, this is fun. Do you have a chat? Can you see the chat?
I don't think I have the chat going.
Okay. So what you got to do is open the video in another window, except hit mute as quick as you can, so that like in that video, or pause the video itself, so that you can see the chat on the side. You know what I mean? Am I making sense? Did I just talk nonsense?
Hold on. I think so.
This is hilarious. This is going to be part 1, but part 2. And the other one is going to be part 2, but part 1. Also, my upstairs neighbor is openly weeping now. Like, he is just weeping.
Okay, I've got the live chat open.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I lost video. Okay, there you are. Oh, good. I was concerned for a moment.
But anyway, that's interesting. Okay, cool. Well, hello, viewer.
Is anybody viewing us? You should be able to see, like, how many viewers we have.
Oh, they left.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
That's fine. We'll have it back. It's cool.
Anyway, this is supposed to be a private conversation.
This is what happens when I forget things. So it's the breaks are interesting. That's also my cat is hilarious.
Yeah, the cat's totally like comfortable on the table. She's
Yep.
your familiar. Pie's the familiar, not Janie. Pie is all up on your tarot stuff.
I had to grow into it.
Yeah.
Like the emotional feeling of like having this connection is so interesting, and especially like coming at it from like the King of Cups perspective versus like other ones, you know, because part of it is like have been so dedicated that like the King of Cups is my card kind of sense of like being in it because of my work that I do.
Right.
And so that's always been sort of my persona, but then realizing that like that persona is actually right now what's kind of pulling me back a little bit. Yeah.
What would you say is my significator so far as the quartz?
I'm kind of horrible at being able to assign that.
No. I want you to, because I don't know what mine is, and I know where I think I've been recently, but I'm super curious.
Well, you're Virgo, so for me, if I were to go by the astrology, that would put you as Pentacles, Earth sign, and then so I let people choose if they want to be king or queens, basically.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's the thing, is that I've been feeling very Queen of Pentacles in that I've been very, very, like, too grounded.
Yeah.
Too grounded. Like, not enough, you know, going out and opening up and being the queen of, like, I want to be the Queen of Wands. I want to. I've wanted to be the Queen of Wands for such a long time.
I think about that and I just get tired.
I know, but like, isn't that amazing? Like that beautiful energy, and it's just like owning the hell out of it. I want that so badly because I vacillate so much between like Knight of Wands energy. Like the Knight of Wands is where I actually am a lot of the time, and then the Queen of Wands or the Queen of Pentacles phase that I'm in right now, and I just want to be the Queen of Wands. Like,
so interesting too, because like my one friend, my big tarot friend, like she's like, yeah, you're the Knight of Wands to me, and I'm like, are you sure about that? No, like like we're always hanging out. We're always talking about like tarot stuff, right? And that's kind of where the energy's been. So again, I think it's that I'm kind of like taking that back a little bit, and it's just like, and trying all the things and figuring out all the stuff. And it's so interesting, like have that like perspective from somebody else, like then like this is the energy that I can receive from you, and like versus the energy that like I kind of see myself on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, it's because like the Knight of Wands is like so much the antithesis, I think, like what I am to me. Like if you look at my like birth chart, like all the stuff, whatever, my job, and it's just like I'm water and air, like so much.
yeah.
Ironically, like I do know that my Saturn sign, Saturn is in Sagittarius for me, and that is fire.
Which is like, oh God, that's such a experience, isn't it?
So yeah, I can see why like going through one of the things for everyone who actually does listen to Alie talk other times, I've been going through and doing like some tarot math, sort of akin to what Alie does for her almanac. And so my year this year for like Saturn tarot card is a hangman, and next year is going to be a death year for me. And I'm sitting there going like, oh, this is such a hangman year. And part of it is because like I think going into that like Saturn return stuff and feeling all of that, I'm just like.
What's amazing is my Saturn return was last year.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when I had a complete and total have to face my mental health, my mental illness. And like, I was brought face to face with it. There was no getting around it. There was no pretending that it was a heart condition. There was no, like, you know, oh, I just have bad blood pressure or I've got this thing. Like, there was no passing it off. It was mental illness, pure and simple, and I had to deal with it. And I had to deal with it in the midst of a fucking wedding.
Oh, yeah.
My fucking wedding. So it's just like, knowing what my Saturn return experience was, I'm just sort of like, where's my popcorn?
Well, it's been interesting because, like, I would argue, so my Saturn is in, like, the final few degrees of the sign. So, Sagittarius. So I would argue that I've been feeling, like, the shadow effect of it for years, actually. And, like, my astrology friend, she was like, well, and you crossed Pluto at one point already, so you might actually be through the worst of it. And I was just like, what? So maybe it happened at once. It's like, you know, being like, she was like, she's like, it may not be as bad as it could be. I'm like, okay, sure. But I would almost argue that, like, I started feeling it a little bit, like the beginning pieces of it when I started tarot, actually. Because being a Sagittarius tends to be around like spirituality and beliefs and you know, how do you like kind of like get yourself into that space, and around like where you put yourself in that area. So it was like, that's interesting. And starting tarot was about 3 years ago. And,
Right.
you know, so in a lot of stuff, but also my new job, well, my now job was about 2.5 years ago. Like a lot has changed in the last 3 years. And it's also going to be interesting to see how my Saturn return is coinciding by a couple of months with my 7-year anniversary of living where I live, which 7 tends to be around 7 years tends to be around the time that I leave places. Although it won't be 7 this time, it'll probably be closer to 8 if my plans come to fruition, which that's part of what my counselor is actually like yelling at me to do. You need to sit down and make these plans and work, and I'm just like, but yeah, so all that's kind of, so it makes sense to see like looking at those numbers and like still incorporating tarot in the things that I do. So looking at like, even though I'm not actually reading with the cards, like still incorporating how I deal or look at the different aspects of my life. So, you know, okay, it's 0 to hangman. Here's how I interpret what that means.
This is the tarot lifestyle that we have not, I want to say bought into, but at the same time is like we have studied our way into.
Yeah. And it's almost like it's become the structure, you know, of
yes,
the structure of our lives.
And like
reading.
All of the archetypes, all of the like, you know, this is, I actually was thinking this is such a 4 of Wands moment the other night. I was having a very 4 of Wands moment with my husband and my girlfriend and my dog and my cat, and it was a very 4 of Wands moment.
Like home and stability and like.
Yeah, like it wasn't quite to like the 9 of Cups or the 10 of Pentacles, because it wasn't like celebratory. It was just like peace and stability and like structured and good. And I thought about it. I was just like, this is like my 4 walls. These are my 4 wands. This is amazing. And so it's like, I've noticed that it's like people who, even though we take these breaks where we can't read or there's something up with it, we're still so intently into tarot.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting because like, I started reading the books that I was talking about at the library also. Yeah, like, right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what it was like. How destructing, like, I get this stuff, like, I get it. There's something I'm like, that was a little step, 2 steps too far from where I am right now. But like, yeah, it was so interesting. You're like, okay, I kind of get what that might mean in terms of like things that could happen or the way I might interact with different things or how I choose to take steps. But it was just so interesting. It was so interesting doing that. And also, speaking of next year being a death year, which I'll be the year I'm 30, right? So that's gonna be my 30th birthday. Makes sense. And then also, I was doing like the name math, right? The way that Mary Kay Greer has her system, which is a little different than standard numerology. And adding up all the numbers the way that she does, like death, that, right? Like, so my name is like connected to it too, and it's just like change, which makes sense in how I'm like the things that I'm sort of looking at coming up the pipeline and looking at, in a lot of it's change based, which is terrifying.
Oh,
I don't handle change very well.
Which is probably why you're being faced with it so often. It's just like, no, you have to learn how to deal with change. That's your challenge. Because my birth card is the Lovers, and anyone who knew me in my 20s would know that that was my big challenge, was being loved and loving in return, and like what that actually meant. Not, what I wanted it to mean, or not what other people wanted it to mean, but what that actually meant. That was my like 20s figure it out thing. And even now I still struggle with it. Like, what is partnership?
Yeah.
And so like that's my life thing. That's my life thing is the Lovers. And so I mean, if change is your maybe not life thing, but just like your right now thing.
Right. Well, that's so interesting. Is like, so my birth cards have the Magician and the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. So Wheel of Fortune also
patterns.
Yep. And which, by the way, so looking at like the what every year is going to be, the Wheel of Fortune is the one that repeats the most. I don't throughout my like lifetime. So I'm getting that one the most. I'm pretty much never getting the Magician. So I'm like, pretty much no one is. Yeah, so those are the motifs that I keep pivoting across. I want to say Wheel of Fortune year was around the time I got tarot, getting my job, all this stuff. Delightfully, I had a Lover's year. That's right. Graduating college and moving to St. Louis. So the year of choices, right? And choosing going after like what I love and what, so that was actually really fascinating. So cool. I did the math for like what year is it, and it was like, oh, that year. That year I chose to follow something.
So even though we're taking breaks and we're not reading physical cards, we're still reading for ourselves because of stuff like this. Like, this is still interpretation. This is still like analyzing our lives through the lens of tarot. Oh, yeah. Even though we're not using the cards themselves. I think this is so awesome.
It is amazing. And I've been also like, the time to, I think, look at like other things too. So there's another friend of ours on Tumblr sent me her tarot deck and her oracle deck that she's been making and she's been working on. And so I've been looking at the oracle deck, no guidebooks. Well, she's been writing them, so no guidebooks. I'm looking at this oracle deck, going like, how am I going to use this, right? Especially with my like approach to oracle, which is basically like, no. But this one just aligns so well. Like, I've had people who look at both the tarot and the oracle, and they go like, honestly, I think I like the oracle better. Like, love the tarot too; it's amazing. But there's just something about the oracle deck. Just the concepts that are used and the uniqueness of the concepts that are used. And we're all, like, I shared with my girlfriend, we're all just staring at it, going like, oh my god, and like trying to like see how it reads. And so that's been really, so I've been approaching that, like, okay, how would I read with this deck? What would I assign me? Like, actually, like, take the time to dive into that a little bit and, like, practicing with that. So that's been a little different shift. Although I try to fix myself, but then I still go, I read some death, I'm like, okay, I'm better sense. So that's been like really, really interesting. Taking that different path a little bit of like, let's go around things a little bit. Let's explore the environment in a different way. Basically. So that's been fun.
I do think of like using other divination systems as like CrossFit for tarot.
Mm-hmm.
That it like makes that tarot skill that much stronger.
Yeah.
And I wish I could say that I've been doing that, but I haven't.
Yeah.
I've just been teaching, and like there is a value to teaching and like learning from what you teach, which is really interesting. So I have a student here in Toronto who I see once every 2 weeks-ish, depending on schedule. And some of the things I say, I'm just sort of like, damn, I didn't even know I thought that.
I do that all the time. Well, that's like my day job, right? Relationship and sexuality education. And a lot of times I'll say a thing and I'll just be like, where'd that come from? I don't know. Because like, teach skills and or attempt to. That's the other part of my life where I'm going like, time to move on.
Ooh. Changes, I can't sing this song.
You work on your job in the social work field. It's a delightful experience. So now that I know the details. But yeah, it was so funny, especially it was a job where everyone's like, oh my god, that's just we need that so much. And I'm like, yep. Someone else can do it now. No one else is going to do it now in my community, but my job is literally on the forefront of the field in a lot of ways, because we work with folks with disabilities, and there are some programs out there that have decent curriculums and do similar work, but definitely not in the Midwest, or not very well in the Midwest. And even considering how we approach things, we're still very much on that sort of forefront area of what we do, and it's mind-boggling. But also, no one really, the money situation is dire when it comes to grant funding, so it's.
Oh. And everyone's favorite thing is writing grants. Are you kidding? Everyone's favorite.
Yeah, or my favorite thing is writing the reports for my grants.
Yeah, right. Because you probably have like a specific person who is the grant writer, and then you're accountable to them.
I've had precisely one interaction, and I think that person has changed. I haven't had any interactions with the grant person.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it's fun stuff. Lots of things that are just kind of like.
You want to know what I'm doing right now? Like, since I quit my job and discovered that I can't do tarot as a full-time thing until I deal with some major baggage, the glamorous world of data entry.
I miss data entry so much. Well, so funny story. Speaking of changes, one of the things I'm looking at is one of the things that drives me batty about our work in social work in general is how terrible we are at like good solid evaluation and like being able to analyze the data that we have in an appropriate way. So there are programs out there, like school programs, 1.5 to 2 year master's degrees of like that work exactly, like so data managers.
Right.
Like that's an option, because that would take me in a direction that I'm interested in going. And of course, most of them sitting here going like, but I'm so bad at math.
But it's a different kind of math that data management needs.
And most of the programming does like the statistics for you.
Like statistics is different from math. This is the thing, that it's just like
taking multiple statistics classes, and I've just been like, I get like about half of it, is about where I've been.
Okay.
I would know knowledge.
My thing with stats, like I love statistics. I love it. I don't know why, but it hits that part of my brain that's like, does compute, does compute. Oh, it does compute. Whereas stuff like biology and calculus, for some reason I lumped them together. They were just like nonsense.
I came on the calc thing. I refused to take calc in high school. Me and bio has always been vaguely antagonistic.
I had to take it twice as an adult.
I took it once.
Yeah. Fun fact, y'all, I graduated from high school when I was 30. But yeah, I had to take biology twice because I couldn't. The first time I was like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And then it was the cutoff time for dropping out, like dropping a class without it being showing up on your report card. And I was like, I'm out. I'll be back. Peace.
Yeah. Well, it is so interesting. Again, so using that, like, again, speaking the metaphor of like change and what is that, I've spent like the last year or so going like, well, I could go vacillating between like, I want a job that'll train me in a new direction of what I'm interested in, because student loans, right? Especially here in the States, like our student loans.
Yeah.
And so looking at nursing actually, and then I kind of decided, not going to do that route. And then I saw this program. It's in the same school as a higher ed education program. I found a friend was showing me some stuff. And I was like, both of which paths interest me in terms of what I currently do. But in theory, I can get a higher ed job with a social work degree, in theory. But so interestingly seeing that like as a change, and like that is a vehicle for change. Like, okay, this is interesting, like could use that as a path, but also having to recognize that if that is a path I take, I can't get any more debt for it. I can't take on any more debt. It's just like, I have to get in 100% funded. And I'm just like, right?
Yeah.
Or trying to find a job in one of the places I want to go. It's like so many options for like changes and how this happens, but like there's such up in the air options, like they rely on so many other factors, and it's
moving parts.
And one of the things that keeps
it's the Wheel of Fortune.
The Wheel of Fortune, and one of the things that always keeps pointing at me in my tarot readings is, so the Four of Pentacles has haunted me since I've started. But admittedly, I started reading tarot when I was unemployed. So
okay, that's fair.
And so, but the position this card keeps coming up now, especially when I use Slow Holler, where it's a Four of Stones. So really, this sense of security, financial security card. It always comes up in those places of like, you need to either navigate this or you need to push through this need that you have to be 110 perfectly % secure.
Right.
And because the world isn't that. And I'm just like, and that's going to be the hardest part to push through, I think. Because trying to make moves, trying to change things, trying to like, whether it be finding a new job or moving to a new place that definitely has the higher cost of living of where I currently am,
right.
Or, going back to school for something, like sitting and grappling with also too, like I already have a master's degree, want to get a second one. Why, dear God, do I want to get a second one? And it's just like, all those pieces, it's like, what is so it's been all those like moving pieces as well. And like looking like, how does death fit into that? And how does change fit into that? And being okay with a different level of comfort, I guess. I've spent so much of the past 3 months going, in order to do the things that I want to do, I have to be able to save up money and have this security blanket that I don't know if I'll be able to get, that I can't currently get with my job as it stands because I don't make enough money.
Right.
Although I'm sure if I made certain lifestyle changes, I could. Say, for example, not living in a 1-bedroom by myself, even in delightfully cheap St. Louis, but,
There are some lifestyle choices that are worth the lack of security. I don't know. I mean, like, I got a dog when I don't have a regular full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
And I stand by that wholeheartedly, even though he's a little shit. I love him to pieces, but he's a little shit.
As all dogs
But,
are.
like, yeah. But, like, the positive effect he's had on my mental health just in the past week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I forgot my meds today, and I barely noticed until I got home and was like, oh shit, my meds are, like, still in the Tuesday container.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Ying, ying. But, like, yes, is that an expense that it's not that we can't afford it, it's that we could afford other things.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Um, and like you want to have a certain amount of buffer so that in case anything happens to a dog,
Yep.
and it's got to be set aside exclusively for the dog, not for like this is a trip or this is my security net. Our security net is now dog.
Yep. Yeah.
But I think that's fucking worth it.
Year, it was like, okay, I do have the money I can spend, and I still ended up asking for some help on it because I was like, so my savings was a little over, probably around, well, where I wanted it to be, and I spent half of that doing this move to this apartment when I got kicked out of my last place. So I had to put down security deposit. I had to move. I had to, do all the payment shifting, right? Like buy stuff, everything that happens when you move, right?
Right.
Restock my kitchen, everything. And I still had to ask for help. Like even because I still wanted to have at least a tiny bit of security net there in case something happened to the cats, right? Like just a few $100, something that like I have that cushion, And I worked hard after that to be like, okay, I have to get up to this number to feel at least somewhat okay. And I reached them. I'm hovering above it a smidge. I think I finally reached it like a couple months ago.
Congratulations. There you go. There's your 4 of Pentacles.
Yeah. And also recognizing that money comes from my mileage check, which has dropped drastically because of how things have changed with my position at work. So, yeah. So it'll probably go up a little bit more now that a couple other things have changed. But, yeah. So being able to put in $100 to $150 a month for mileage.
Right.
Great additional sense of security, right? Like, 'cause I already spent the money. I'm not missing it. I just stick it in my savings account, So it was like that automatic savings plan in a way. And now it's been like under 100, or I think the last one was around 40 something. And I was just like, this is my savings.
Oh, I had one moment. So I've been doing a lot of temp work, but it's been for the same company.
Considering as an option.
Sorry?
I am considering temp work as an option for my various stuff. So
I gotta say, I've been working for the same company doing temp work in different positions because they're trying to find a permanent position that works for me within their framework. Which it is very niche, and so I totally understand why I don't have something right now. But anyway, I finally brought home a paycheck bigger than Jamie's since he finished school. And I kind of felt like a shit because it was partially because Jamie had taken a day off, but I did it. I still did it. And there was a part of me that was just like, making it rain. And it's like the tiniest, like barely broke $1,000 paycheck, but I'm still just like, ah.
It was funny, that actually brought up for me as interesting. It's like, so the idea of like how much money we make, right? So I currently make X amount of money, and I'm just like, this is really about, I think, the minimum that most people should be able to live on. Like, talk about like 15 as like the ideal wage, like in the States are like minimum wage, right? And I make just over 15 an hour.
Well, okay, and that's the thing is that like Ontario right now is looking at raising their minimum wage to 15, which is definitely the minimum that like half a household can live on.
Yeah, and
Like, frankly, it's not enough in, like, at least not in Toronto
no,
for.
it's enough in St. Louis, barely. I mean, I've been fairly comfortable in my place, but also I have a cheap apartment, and fairly because the way the apartment's set up, I have fairly cheap bills, and I only have a couple of things I'm paying off. I'm not paying off a car. I'm not, like all this extra stuff, and so it's just like, and those are the only reasons I can put aside any money, actually.
We're totally derailed from like taking a break from tarot. I just realized we've been so caught up in this.
Say that again.
We're amazing. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. It just like struck me that it's like we're supposed to be talking about taking a break from tarot. This is kind of like taking a break from tarot. Anyway, but yeah. You know what? I'm glad St. Louis is inexpensive because I've got a pretty cheap place for Toronto, but it is not inexpensive.
Yeah. This it's fun. Money aside.
Now that you guys know way too much about our finances, holy shit.
This is all information I share with everybody. Yeah, I know that I share. So, that's been an interesting, that's one of the many answers of why I've been taking a break from tarot, because I keep having those damn cards following me. Seriously though, in that reading I did last night, I had two cards that I pretty much have been getting consistently. Well, fairly, somewhat. And then, or two cards that come up from related readings. And then, I got the Eight of Cups as my underneath my bottom of the deck card, and I was like, that's pretty much what I was anticipating. But the way so Holler takes it too is also like, as time moves on, but it's also time to like revel in what you grew in the dirt of your past, essentially. Which was kind of relates like how I've been thinking about things. And so and there was an eclipse in that card.
Is there?
Yeah, in the So Holler Eight of Cups.
Excellent.
Yeah, and the other two ones were like ones I've gotten in fairly related things, except for that visionary of sorts. So like all those cards are like reasons I sat at and went like, this is why I haven't been reading. Like, no, stop it.
No.
Most people would be like, that takes me back a little bit. This is my brain reversing a smidge. So we're talking
Go
about
with it.
So my birth card is the Magician and the Wheel, right? Right, like literally, I was reading through a lot of stuff and I was reading through what that means. I was like, so because my birth card is the Magician of the Wheel, according to Mary Kay Greer, the hidden factors card to me is the sun. And like the stuff that I was saying lined up pretty much exactly with what I had been telling my counselor last week. Because he was like, "You're the magician. You can make me." And I'm like, "No, like, I know this. That's why I'm so terrified." I described myself essentially as the epitome of like the Seven of Cups, right? Like I like having all these dreams, all these options and things, but I don't necessarily chase them because they're all there. I just want to know that they're there, right? So that means I don't do anything. And because options, right? If all the options, you can do anything. Once you pick an option, you can't do anything. All the things, right? And I was like,
not all the things, but you can do one of the things, at least one of the things.
And then that's where the magician piece comes in. It's like once you choose the thing that you want to do, or once you like have planned, like the ability to kind of like make things, your will in the world, right? I was like, it's kind of terrifying, like knowing you can do that. It's like I know I can if I really put my mind to it, but do I want to? Because then I options, right? Like it's a more physical law of dreaming options. Again, many reasons I've stopped reading. But comparing that with like the sun, I was just like, as a hidden factor, kind of like being so terrified of how bright you can be in this world, right? And all stuff that like tarot cards have kind of pointed out has been like, nope, can't deal with this right now. Like, just pushing that aside. just a little bit, because
Yeah. All right, darling, it is getting late for me.
It is.
And we've been going for a while.
We have. This might be now officially our longest set of videos.
I think so. And like the most derailed. But I love it. I love it. I love it. We needed a catch up. We needed a proper catch up. And this did the job. It did the job.
someday soon, I'm sure we'll sit down where we figure out where our deck collection realign.
Yes. Well, and okay, I tried to buy Thea's Tarot, and it was effing sold out.
A friend of mine just got it really recently. They might have it back in stock.
See, now I don't have money right now. I had money then for it. Gosh. Anyway.
We'll get it. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Excuse me. Okay, I'm getting my sleepy sneezes. I gotta go, or else this is just gonna continue.
Well, one thing before you guys want to know something for truth, I have 4 decks on Kickstarter right now.
Really? Okay, I want the personal space tarot. The second. Yeah, I want that one really bad. I want that one really bad, especially for the enamel pin of death. I think it is the cutest shit ever.
Which one is the mountain? The tower, I think, is the mountain.
Okay. Oh, sorry, that was my fish.
That one's mine. So, mountains have literally been. So you're talking about you're too grounded. My thing is, I'm not grounded enough. So, mountains have been calling my name. So, yes. All right. Let's end this. Let's go publish that first video, which will not be video number 2.
Yeah.
And for folks who managed to get through our chatting, leave some comments. What kind of breaks have you taken a tarot break? Why have you taken a tarot break? What kind of break have you taken? Looking at the differences between what we're doing. I think in some ways we kind of hit on similar reasons for both of our different kind of breaks.
Yeah.
There's both personal stuff involved, but we kind of approach it in different ways, I think.
Yeah.
But because let's be real, my not reading for others outside of the bar has been a much longer one. Longer than that, yes. But yeah, let's talk about what have your tarot breaks been like. And do you think that tarot will always be there for you when you come back? As a lot of my friends keep telling me.
Oh my God, it will. It will. But anyway, yeah, you guys tell us how you're feeling.
Yeah. All right.
If you made it this far.
We will finish. I'll go look at the other one. All right. Have a great night. Thanks for listening to us. Go in all the directions and be fun. Bye, friends.